service plan. This is what you have to thoroughly understand for understanding how the app services are going to get built. Trust me, there is a lot of confusion about this and people literally end up wasting money because they do not understand this properly. So what is this app service plan? Now if I go back to the portal for a website, now if you go to resource group, you will see that there are two things. One is the web app. This is the web app service web app, and this is my plan. Two resources got created. The billing of this website is because of this app service plan. So right now, because this was the first website I created, web app I created, I used an existing plan. But suppose I now create a new app service instance. I say one more. Now if I choose one more, for this one more, I have the choice of creating a new app service plan, or I can choose an existing app service plan. It's my choice. You see here, my demo basic plan is selected. But if otherwise I want, I can always go and create a new one. Maybe this time a standard plan. So let's say my demo standard plan. So in one case I have basic, here I have chosen standard, and both are in central US. So maybe you can add that also actually. Ideally speaking, you add because the name matters there. And you want to probably create a new app service. So now we are going to have here if I rather go to resources, resource group. Oh, I did not change the resource group by mistake, and that's not going to help us. Rather keep it, it's okay. So we'll have two resource groups now. I should have chosen existing resource group. Because I did not choose that, automatically created a new resource group. So two resources in this and two resources in this. Just taking some time. Plan is created. And let me create one more. Anyhow, I'll need that also. Add. This time what I'll do is I'll not create a app service. I'll directly create a app service plan. So all services, app service plan. I have it here, which I can drag and drop it on top. So I have it here. Now I create a new app service plan. My demo standard demo RG Central US. Keep it. So it's demo RG Central US standard plan. Now why you should have multiple plans? Actually you should not. Actually you should not have multiple plans. Now what is happening is, because I have three plans, you will note that I'm getting billed in three different categories. This is running its own set of compute resources. This is running its own set of compute resources, and then one more which is in creation, also running its own set of compute resources. So all are having their own resources. in progress. So let's understand this whole thing now. App Service Plan represents a collection of physical resources used to host your apps. Very important. Physical resources are decided by App Service Plan and not by App Service. Now, what is that App Service defines? It defines the region where your resources are going to be hosted. It can help you in scaling the content. It will also help you to decide small, medium, large. I'll explain. And it can also help you to give the SKU, free, standard, basic, free, shared, basic, standard, premium, and there is actually one more, isolated, the SKU. Now what are these things? Based on whether it is free plan or shared plan or basic plan or standard or premium or isolated, the features are going to be different. Now if you are choosing free plan for your website, you cannot have a custom domain, you cannot have a SSL certificate, and you can have a maximum storage of 1 GB. Your file content cannot be more than 1 GB in size. And I already showed you earlier, it cannot be having more than 60 minutes of load in a day. Total day, more than 60 minutes, your site should not execute. I'm not saying it can remain hosted for 24 hours, but the load should not be more than for 60 minutes. Scaling is not supported, traffic manager not supported, slot. Rather, basically, very basic. That's it. You just have a default site and nothing special in that. You also have the ability to go for shared site. In shared, it is the cheapest. Only advantage you can get is you can put your own custom domain, and otherwise it is the cheapest, but again it does not support even SSL. Nowadays we don't have a website without SSL. We just only for practice, probably if you are creating some website, you may want to do it without SSL, but otherwise all the websites are with SSL, and only then Google gives proper ranking to such sites. So even SSL is not there, but otherwise it will just cost you around $10 and that's it. Less than $10 per month, you can have your shared website. Most often we go for something like basic. We go for SSL certificate, we go for storages, all these benefits we are going to get. But again, here also, what is important to note is between basic and standard, in basic we have got SNI SSL certificate, whereas IP based certificate, if you have, you cannot use in basic. Compulsory you need a static plan, a standard plan. Likewise, here you get storage only up to 10 GB, here you get up to 50 GB. There is something called as auto scaling, manual scaling. Here only manual scaling is supported, here auto scaling is supported. You can have maximum 3 instance, 10 instance. I mean, you have to understand these variations. Of course, scaling is one topic, traffic manager is one topic, slots are one topic. All these are one by one topics we are going to cover. But right now what is important for you to understand is when you are moving from one SKU to another SKU, the features are increasing, and maximum features you are going to get obviously in premium. Rather, premium has same set of features as standard, just that more more resources are allocated. Whatever features we have here, same are here also. See, yes, but here 5 slots, 20 slots, here 50 GB, 250 GB, and above premium is isolated. Now what is the difference up to this and isolated? Now in case of isolated, a separate dedicated VM is going to get created for you in background. On a dedicated virtual network, a dedicated VM is going to get created. And this is going to provide complete network isolation, and of course most important, it gives you very good performance, and it gives you the ability to scale up to 100 instances. Right now it is only 20 instances, but if you want to have scaling up to 100 instances, imagine you are hosting a website which has huge amount of load. something like a e-commerce website, and it's the peak period. During festivals, you have heavy traffic, and to sustain that traffic, up to 100 instances you have the ability to go in case of isolated. So where are all these options available? Go to any plan. You see the three plans are created here. Go to any plan and choose the option scale up, and here you have. So these are dev, test, production. That is only category here. They don't have any specific meaning as such. But these are the ones. If you select this, it's a free plan. In free plan, as I said, 1 GB, 60 minutes, and some basic compute resources. That's it. Shared plan, it's only going to cost you around 639 INR, less than $9. Here you see it is going to cost you roughly around 3688 in INR. My account is showing in INR because it is configured for India. If your account is configured for US, automatically it will show in dollars. So whatever account currency you have mentioned at the time of creating, based on that it will show here. And you see here we got custom SSL feature, manual scaling, automatic scaling is not there, but this is only B1. Again in basic there are 3 levels. Expand this, you will see B1, B2, B3. Now when you go from B1 to B2, features are same, but you get double CPU and memory. Here it is 1.75 and here it is 3.5. And likewise B2 to B4, B3, again it gets doubled. 200, 400 ACU. Basically shared CPU, ACU. You get 400 power. 3.5, 7 GB. That's double. And of course the cost also will double. You see 3673 and here it is 14. So you may probably start with during development F1, then move on to D1 when you have a custom domain requirement, and then when you feel that you want to put a SSL certificate, go to B1, but then you feel that the site is slow, then upgrade to B2, and if you feel still it is slow, then upgrade to B3. And if you still feel it is slow, then you have no choice but to get into isolated. Because when you move from basic to standard, B1 and S1, the CPU, ACU they call it, and memory is same. You see here 100, 1.75. Here also it is 100 and 1.75. It's the same. Likewise, you see here S2, S3, it's the same. Same with P1, P2, P3. The memory and the CPU are not changing when you move from S1 to P1 or B1 to S1. Remember this. There is also P1, V1, P1, V2, P1, but they are available in few places. They are not available in all data centers. So based on your choice of region which you have selected, these would be enabled or disabled, and you have to be sure in which data center you are. Like for example, East US 2 is the most latest data center. Most of the features are supported in that data center. So like that, there are very few data centers in the world which have all the features enabled. And isolated, the most expensive, that is available with app service environment. Now what is this app service environment? In short, I'm going to discuss more in detail. In app service environment, we are going to have all the features of app service, but then app service is going to be hosted in a dedicated network. A separate network will be created by us, VNet will be created, and in that VNet, dedicated resources will be allocated to your app service. There again you have got public app service, private app service, pretty lengthy learning curve which we are going to discuss some other time. But right now for the basic app service we have got all these options available. So I once again repeat the procedure you should start with. During development in the early stages, simply go for F1 because you don't need to continuously run the site online. At the same time, you can always test it with Azure websites. You don't need a domain which is real time. AzureWebsites.com is good enough. After that, when you go to custom domain, go for shared. After that, if you want SSL and if you want to really run live, minimum I'll prefer using basic. And as the performance has to increase B1 to B2 to B3, but you decide to have slotting feature, you want other advanced features, you may upgrade from B1 to S1 and from S1 further to S2 to S3 based on performance requirement. Or you can go for even P1 if you want really advanced features in terms of the total size and the number of parallel instances and so on. So this is very important. Now certain important things. I can always select a web app. I can go to my app service, choose my app service, and here you have an option for app service plan. So with my app service, this is the app service plan currently associated. I can look, change app service plan, and you'll notice that I have only one app service plan listed here, which is in the same resource group demo.org. Remember, I created earlier another app service plan which was not in demo.org, but it got created in a different resource group that is not listed here. That means an app service can change the app service plan as long as it is in the same region and same resource group. Very important. I'm able to change from basic to standard because this particular app service plan is also in central US and it is also in the same resource group demo.org. I cannot switch to an app service plan in a different resource group. Very, very, very important point. Second, when I want, I can always go to something like scale up. For my app service, I'm doing this. When I go to scale up, I can choose to go from B1 to probably B2. But remember, I'm actually not scaling the app service, I'm actually scaling the app service plan. I'm changing app service plan and I'm not changing app service. Now, what is actually the relationship between app service and app service plan? App service plan can have multiple app services. I can put app service 1, app service 2, app service 3, app service 4, like that multiple app services. You can host it in a single app service plan. So if you are a startup organization, you have one website of your own and maybe one trial website or maybe some other product also you are parallelly developing. For each one of them, you can have a different website, but you know that all these websites collectively do not have lot of load and they are fine if they are going to run on a same set of hardware resources. Then for all of them, rather than choosing a different app service plan, use only one app service plan. You are going to save the cost. So 4 websites, you can go for any number, there is no restriction. But somewhere what will happen is the resources will start throttling. They will start choking. So you cannot put hundreds of web apps or your app services in the same app service plan. Don't do that. As long as you do know that the performance is not lost, you can always go for a common app service plan for all the app services. But what is the condition? It is the app service plan which has a region. It is the app service plan which has a resource group, and all these should belong to the same region and same resource group. Very, very, very important. They cannot be in different region and different resource group. And obviously, every app service can change from one app service plan to another app service plan. But for that also, the condition is you should have same region and same resource group. Only then you can change. So what if I want to move my app service from one region to the other region? In such case, what shall I do? What we have to do in those kind of cases is do a clone of the app service. You should do a clone of your app. But the minimum requirement for cloning is you have to first upgrade your app service plan to premium. So whatever is the app service plan associated with this app service, first I'll upgrade to premium. After I upgrade to premium, I will do a clone of this in a different region. At that time, I can select a different region altogether because it's going to create a new copy of my app. Once a clone is created, I may probably completely destroy the existing one. I may have to come and delete it. Then only I will not be built two times. Otherwise, I'll continue getting built two times. Mind you, one more time I am repeating this point. Right now, my situation is I have all resources. I have two app services. Rather, the second one did not get created for some reason. But I have three app service plans. So it does not mean that I'm not going to get billed for the other two. No, I'm getting billed for all three of them. My per minute billing is on all three of them, irrespective of my app service is there or not. And not only that, app service has the feature where you can stop it for a while. You can say that my site should not be available to others for some time. I can stop it. So even if you stop the app service, your billing doesn't stop. App service plan charges are still going to be applied. Only that your app service is not available at this point of time. That's it. So this is very, very important. I have seen people deleting app services but forgetting to delete app service plan, and end of the month when they get the bill, they see that they have been billed for the whole month of the app service. But actually it is not app service. I'm repeating again and again, it's the app service plan which will get billed. So certain facts I have documented here for your reference. You can have a single resource group having multiple app service so that you can switch from one app service plan to another app service plan if needed. Or of course you can scale up the existing app service plan itself at any point of time. So actually speaking, you don't really need two app service plans. Just scale up. From basic to standard, existing app service plan can be scaled. Only in cases like you want application is very resource intensive, go for a separate app service plan. Applications have different scaling factors. One application needs 10 instances, but another needs only 2. So you don't have to go for same app service plan. You can go for probably different app service plans in such cases. Needs resources on different geographical regions. You don't have choice. Compulsory you have to go for multiple app service plans. You can move an app to different app service plan in the portal. But of course, what is the condition? It should be in same resource group and geographical region. That is the mandatory requirement. You can always create an empty app service plan like I demonstrated and later add app services to it by using the option change app service plan for the app service. And of course, if you want in a different region, I told you, you can do cloning, but to clone, you'll have to go for premium. First, change the app service plan to premium mode, clone it, and then delete the original one. So these are few important things which everybody should have idea about. Lot of questions on certification in certification exam also will be in app service plan. So be careful.